Frederick Advice Givers. I am super stoked to have with us today my buddy Mike Haggerty with Presidential Bank Mortgage, episode 128 of Frederick Advice Givers. So Mike was actually episode 3 in March of 2015, so almost 3 years ago now, man. You were
3 years ago.
You were one of the first 3 on. So I appreciate you coming back and joining us again.
Glad to be back.
So you guys know we're doing the new format. Mike's episode 5 with the video. So we've got the video, we've got the audio running. So help share his story again. So if you want to go back and listen to episode 3 on Frederick Advice Givers, we'll put the link in the comment section below so you can check out his story initially. But we've evolved. We have different questions. We get different answers. So let's roll here with Mike. So for our audience, Mike, that doesn't know you, who are you and how would you describe yourself? And what's your origin story, man?
All right, Mike Haggerty. I've been with Presidential Bank Mortgage for coming up on 25 years. Born and raised in Maryland. I'm a father of 4. We've lived in Frederick County for coming up on 20 years right now. 2 in college, sophomore and freshman, and 2 at the university. At Urbana High School, sophomore and junior there as well.
How do you describe yourself, man? Besides the loving father of 4 awesome kids.
I am, to be honest, once you get to know me, you'll find that I am a genuine person, someone that you'll respect and get to know and really appreciate being around. Eric and I have been friends for 20 years probably. And the relationship has just gotten stronger and stronger over the past 20 years. We've learned to respect each other's time. Family is important. A lot of people don't understand, in this business, people think that we're not even like doctors. We're more on call 24/7, and unfortunately, we do have lives as well. And working with Eric and the realtors that I've worked with in the past, they respect that. They respect and understand that there's family time, and then there's work time, and then there's personal time. So that's pretty much where.
So how did you get into the mortgage business?
I got in the mortgage business. I started out as a realtor back in the late 80s. I was bartending and I was a realtor and wanted to travel. So I was traveling through Australia and through Europe. And then when I came back, I wanted something a little more steady. So I got into, I became a lender. I wasn't really into showing properties. I was more into the numbers game and trying to help clients figure out what's the best model, what's the best program that fits them for their needs at that particular time. Not everybody is looking at a 30-year fixed product because they're not obviously going to be in the home for 30 years. If you're a first-time home buyer, you may be there just 5-7 years traditionally. So, we analyze all the products and try to figure out what fits best for each client. But I've always enjoyed the business. When the Frank Dodd bill came through and all the turmoil that hit, it got a little dicey to where it wasn't as much fun trying to help clients because the lender was forced to gather a lot more information from the borrowers, and the borrowers at the time unfortunately didn't understand why we kept on asking for certain documentation, etc.
So let's go there real quick, because I know a lot of first-time home buyers, even buyers that bought previously 5-10 years ago, when you're taking their initial loan application, you're asking for very specific documentation so you can actually issue a pre-approval, knowing that you need to get them the settlement on time. You've got a buyer waiting on you, you've got a seller waiting on you, you've got agents and title companies, everybody's waiting on you. So you do a lot of the legwork up front before you basically even let your clients go out and look at houses, right?
That's my preference. My pet peeve, and realtors, Eric's definitely not one of them, but my pet peeve is when a realtor puts a buyer or a client into a car to look at properties when they haven't been pre-approved yet or not. I mean, nobody's looked at their credit. They don't know what they qualify for. They don't know what their comfort level is. So they may be looking at a $400,000 house when chances are they could possibly only qualify for a $300,000 house. So my goal as a lender, and it's always been my goal, is to try to get them all the way through the process to where basically you're looking for a property, you get a ratified contract, you go through the inspections, and an appraisal's done, and then everything is then reviewed again by the underwriter, and we're ready for settlement.
All right, so let's take it back to the human element here. Why did you and Roz decide to stay in Maryland after traveling around Australia and Europe and all these beautiful places? Decide to raise your 4 kids in Frederick.
I think because the families are all rooted in Maryland for the most part. I have.
So you grew up where?
I grew up in Bethesda.
Okay.
Roz grew up down in that area as well. We, for the most part, I am one of 8, and at one time, 5 of us or 6 of us were living within 20 minutes of each other here in Maryland, and Roz's family is the same way, where the majority were living within the Maryland area as well. And you know, my parents, I'm the 7th of 8, so my parents were older, and as time moves on, you know, you don't know how well your parents will be in terms of health, etc. So I wanted to be here in case certain situations would happen with my parents. And fortunately enough, my mom's 93 and doing quite well right now. So, you know,
that's awesome.
I probably could have moved out and and then come back.
All right, so I know you've got the 2 boys in college, so there's probably not much splurging going on. But what's the last big purchase that you made for yourself or your family?
Well, we had a car.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we had to buy a car mainly because Logan needs to get to college. He drives to the community college right now, and Roz is going to work. I'm going to work, and then we're juggling around trying to get the girls to practice and for basketball, etc. So 2 cars weren't really making it work. So we got 3 cars, and oddly enough, now we're back down to 2 because Connor took one down to South Carolina. So the next splurge, hopefully in the next few months, will be a car, one that Roz would like to have.
All right, so outside of work, what's a hobby or interest that you enjoy doing?
I really enjoy going to the gym. I started...
Now, guys, 3 years ago? If you were seeing the video interview, Haggerty was maybe a little larger, a little plumper at that time. So the last about 1.5 years, he's turned into a health nut.
It was January 17th coming up.
Okay, so not even a year.
Not even a year. I started to work out, started to eat better, and minimize the party life a little bit. And went to the gym, and I lost 35 pounds, and my body feels, I feel so much better right now, and feel healthier. Back in January when I looked in the mirror, I figured, you know, 50 and above, it's time to make the adjustment now, or it's downhill from there. So I did do that. I went to the gym. It's a good vent. You know, you go and you clean your mind out. You're just thinking of workouts. You're not necessarily thinking about work, right, or stress with work or stress at home, etc. You're just constantly, for 1 hour, you have your own private time, which is what I enjoy.
All right, Hags. So when you wake up in the morning, what fuels you? What drives you to this passion of helping homeowners, helping buyers buy properties? Forming these relationships with realtors that you're extremely good at. So what's that fuel inside of you?
Well, the fuel has been growing, and it's the nut. Pardon my French or what have you, but it is. It's, you know, you got to cover the bills, and in this business, it's not residual income that we have. each month we have to generate new clients, and that's where we make our income off of. Each month when somebody settles on a loan or settles on a house, that's when I get my pay. That's when I earn my income. So each month I have to generate buyers or multiple buyers that are going to be closing that month to be able to cover the monthly expenses that I incur.
Right. And just like in real estate, you almost work on a contingency basis where you do all the legwork up front. Same thing with in real estate. If they don't buy the house, you don't get paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's imperative to have a lender do the legwork up front, because I can't tell you how many times a week, a couple of days before settlement, transactions fall apart because the lender hasn't done that legwork up front, then nobody gets paid.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's the one thing that I take to heart is I know it's just not my money that's in play here. It's the realtor's money in play, but more importantly, it's the clients who are anxious and willing to move into this new house, and the sellers who are possibly moving on to another place as well. So if something trips up at the last minute, that's the last thing I want. So I try to avoid, as I call it, having to put the pin back in the grenade. I don't want any grenades going off or any red flags going off at the last second. I want to continue to march that football down the field and carry it over the goal line and not fumble on the 1 foot line.
I know you've got amazing support here at Presidential. You've been with Terry for 25 years, basically, right? Forever.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're also your own business within Presidential. You're an entrepreneur. You're your own business. So what's a piece of advice that you could give a fellow entrepreneur and or somebody, can be either specifically in your industry or outside of your industry, a shortcut that you've found over the 25 years that you could give to somebody just starting out in business?
I think one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't do is tell people that they're what they do for work. If you're, from my standpoint, and Eric's as well, being a realtor, people don't know exactly what we do unless we tell them what we do. So the goal is to reach out to your sphere. You need to let your sphere know exactly what you do and what you can do to help them out, and beyond that, what you can do to help their friends out. That way, hopefully, the referral process will begin. I mean, that's where you and I have been through buyer for only program, and it helped out a lot in terms of getting our mindset in place, and referrals are the key source of our business, and I think we're up to, I'm up to close to 90% referral base right now.
Well, I call that the 3 C's: consistent, compelling communication. So you need to stay in touch with your audience, your sphere, as you call it, through consistent, compelling communication, because when they are at that dinner party, or when it is time for them to refinance or move, or they want to purchase, that you're top of mind.
Exactly.
And you do that by staying in front of them, as much as possible without becoming a pest.
Yeah.
You don't
once a month.
Pester your audience, but you want to give them compelling communication that makes them say, or, oh yeah, Haggerty is doing this now or that now.
Yeah.
So when you, we could go on for this with hours. The whole philosophy is, when they see you at a grocery store, that should never be, hey Mike, what are you up to? They should know from your communication what you're up to.
Exactly.
All right, so on the flip side of that, what's a bad piece of advice that maybe somebody gave you early on, or maybe even last year, that you're like, man, I would never do that again?
Well, I wouldn't say it's necessarily my advice, but it's the advice to future homeowners or those that are looking to purchase a home, whether they're moving up or not. A lot of the press feels that or a lot of people feel their first step is to reach out and find a realtor. Well, that is old school. The lending business has become so complicated right now, and there are many programs available where maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when the market took a dip, a lot of buyers, it became very tight to where you had to have certain credit scores, you had to have a certain amount of down payment, etc. Well, the goal would be for you as a buyer or to come to the lender first to find out exactly what options are available. There are many grant programs available for first-time home buyers. There are various programs that allow buyers to get in with very little money down now, and credit scores have become a little more lenient. So, what I would do is educate the buyer on what they would qualify for, and then go out and find find a realtor to help them find the home.
Yeah, I would say, being in this business for 15 years, that's been the one shift that I've seen in the last 5 to 6 years. Is probably 80% of home buyers 5 or 6 years ago came to me first as a realtor, and then they'd get in touch with a lender. And now it's probably 25% have not talked to a lender yet. They are being educated out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
it's the internet probably. It's educating them.
They get on there. They see these 4 different interest rates, and that can be accurate, but can also be misleading because there's so many factors that go in.
Exactly.
As far as the down payment, as far as the loan program,
credit,
2.99, or whatever. So don't get me started on that. But it's if you have a local lender, obviously reach out to them first because they know the local products. Somebody that's
Definitely.
not local to the area that you're looking to purchase might not know those grant programs.
Exactly.
All right. So in the last 3 years, Haggerty, what's a choice that has led you to where we are today? Could be professional or personal. It might be working out. Maybe you're still alive. You never had that heart attack. You never had that heart attack you might have had last summer.
Choice of being here is supporting the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I've learned so much by sitting across and asking the questions in the 127 interviews prior to this. I feel like I've gained a breadth of knowledge from being the one asking the questions. I want to flip the script here. Take a minute, ask me a question.
Okay.
And I'll do my best to answer it.
Well, I've known you, as I said, for probably close to 20 years now, and it's been a great friendship,
right.
Both working relationship and friendship. But I've seen you just recently explode in terms of business. And I don't know where do you get the energy to do what you do, and where do you find the most advantageous piece that you've done to improve your business in the last 2 or 3 years?
Where do I find the time? We make it, and I'm a business owner like you, within a company. Fortunately, it's my company, but I'm my own entrepreneur. So I've been very fortunate in this business that I can be up at 5 or 6 in the morning doing work or sending out emails or sending out a daily email, e-newsletter. But I can find time during the day to go to kids' appointments, to coach their soccer. So that aspect, and my wife and I kind of, work it out that I'm the one that kind of does that stuff. But I also, during the off times, I might be working at 10 o'clock at night writing an offer for a client. But number one single thing that has increased my business is just what I said. It's that consistent, compelling communication to my clients. We recently published a book, Our Documented Approach, which was basically 6 years of research that went into how we get the maximum profit for our sellers when we sell their house. Yeah, there's 7 steps that we use. And just conveying that message to clients, to our audience, to potential clients, that, hey, we have a documented approach that has helped numerous homeowners achieve maximum profits, sometimes record-breaking in neighborhoods. And this is what we do. And we also, with our clients, we invest a lot of time and sometimes we invest money in that effort to get them their desired results. And when you go to a client and they see you investing in that process with them, that you're not just looking for a handout,
Sure.
You're not just looking for a transaction, that you actually believe in what you're telling your clients, and that you'll put your money where your mouth is, then that barrier goes down. Because We have the team, we have the people in the back end that get the property ready. But I always tell my clients, like you and I, we're a team. We have the same borrower. Our goal is to get them to settlement.
Yeah.
You have an issue, you call me up, I'll take care of it. I have an issue on my end, I call you up, we'll take care of it. We do the same thing with our clients. Like, look, our whole goal is to get you in this house or get you the most profit. How are we going to do it together? And that's the one thing that I've seen. I'm going off on a tangent here. That it seems that others maybe have a combative relationship with their clients.
I think what you just touched on is true, is that you work as a team.
Right. And you work as a team with your team, and then
because there are a lot of realtors. I remember back in the day where you would see the realtor at signing the listing agreement. The next time you see him, if you ever saw him again, was when you went to settlement.
Right.
So, and it is true. Working, as I always say to most of my clients when the deal is done, is I appreciate you being so responsive and being so helpful, because if the clients aren't helpful and responsive and don't provide the documentation in a timely manner, et cetera,
right,
and the realtor is not involved, then if we're all not working together, then more than likely that settlement date is going to be missed.
Exactly. And let me preface one other point. So, and probably the most important aspect that you had said, the growth, was having Sumart, who is our office manager / my assistant. Like, she allows me to come out and interview you and to do advice givers, and she's huge with Impact Club and everything that we do within the community. To the advice givers is for you. It's the reason we did this and started this years ago, was to help other business owners and entrepreneurs share their story. So she's at the office now, taking care of a contract, or taking care of writing an offer, or taking care of an inspection issue, and she's phenomenal. Like, without her back end support, I would not be able to do the day-to-day.
Oh, there's no doubt. I know that. I know Sue, and she is phenomenal, and you are very, very, very fortunate to have her by your side.
We are. So all right, so we have two more questions here, Hags. So what's a failure or a loss that has helped mold you, either? It could be professionally or personally.
I think when the market dipped, we were all, everything was moving so fast that you're on a treadmill, and then when somebody pulls the plug on the treadmill, you fall off, and then the lactic acid fills in your legs, and you can't even get up and run again. It took a while for me to get motivated to get back into it. You lost, a lot of that love for what we were here for. And I think learning from the dip and hopefully trying to prepare if there ever is another dip, hopefully never as bad as it was in 2006, 2008, was one of the biggest things that has helped me where I am today.
And then follow up, where do you see yourself in 3 years and 10 years? I know in 3 years you'll have 3 kids in college, so where do you see yourself in 3 years and 10 years, Hags?
3 years, I hopefully see myself making more money than I am, and with the same company. 10 years, geez, close to retirement, maybe. I doubt it. 10 years, I would like to move into the city.
Okay.
I'm a city person to where I like to
DC,
be able,
you mean?
to be able to walk around and not rely on a car, but I like the buzz of the energy that goes on down there.
Now, Boston? You and I both have a fond love for Boston, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boston would be a little too cold though.
You could summer in Boston and winter in DC.
Well, you gotta have 2 houses then.
Exactly. All right. So, how do our listeners find you? What's the best way to get in touch with you, and contact information?
Okay. Again, it's Mike Haggerty, and I'm with Presidential Bank Mortgage. You could reach me at 301-770-6262, or the email address is mhaggerty, which is HAGGERTY @presidential.com. Those of you that are somewhat computer savvy and want to get right to it and fill out a loan application.
I was just gonna mention this.
Yeah.
So just in the last 6 months, you've got a new website that you can actually go in and start the loan process.
It's simple to fill out.
Yep.
So it's www.mhaggerty.com, and it takes you to a site called Perfect LO. You key in your information a little bit, and then it takes you right to the loan application. And once that's done, I can run credit, and we can get you the checklist and be on your way to the home of your dreams.
Awesome. Hags.
Cheers,
Thanks
man.
for joining us, brother.
Yep,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
joining us. That was episode 128 of Frederick Advice Givers. My buddy, as you can tell, like he had mentioned many times, we have professional relationships in this business, and then we have personal relationships too. And Haggerty's both. He's a friend. We've leaned on each other many times, calling each other up, and he's more personal. So great guy, love him.
Yep.
That's episode 128 of Frederick Advice Givers, and we are out.